Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando, and we are going to do a GAC recap where it was me against RamBam. If you guys want to watch these live, I normally do them on Twitch, but I won't be showing round 3. I didn't record it at all, it didn't go live. I just kind of did my attacks because it was up against a 13 mil GP player from, I think, Call Patrol. And I was just doing testing. I wish I wouldn't though, because actually I think I lost to him by like 8 points. So I took some needless losses, and it could have been a win. But either way, this is where we're at. 3693 skill rating. We're against RamBam. I'm kind of skipping through it, and it's, like I said, it's all pre-recorded, so I didn't want to. Some of this is going to go by pretty quick. So 11.69, nice, million GP for Ram. He's a bit bigger than me. I think I just crossed the 11 mil GP. I think most of that was in just relics though. He has definitely a Datacron advantage over me. Definitely has a lot more level 9s than I do. And I think he just has more in general. But honestly, in most cases, it just matters on what your level, or what your set 9 it looks like. So remember, this is kind of midway through the Conquest week, so he's still got some room. I think that he's probably going to grow over that, but for the most part, it just matters about the level 3s and what you got. So let's take a look at his defense. He put gas on defense. He put a Lord Vader with the dot cron, which I think if you guys watched the last GAC recap, you'll know what my counter is going to be for that. This time there is a Thrawn. We've got a Jabba in there as well. And then it looks like, I can't remember if that's Rey or if that is, I think that might be Zori below. But again, my face is blocking the way, unfortunately. And he went before me. So yeah, it's unfortunate that we couldn't get something going. But looks like we had a Malgus. We have Third Sister. We've got a Trench with Watt. And I didn't see who that last one was, but oh, it's this Rey. So I put this in here because, I mean, this Rey had, I think, somewhere north of 2000% armor. Normally I'm able to kind of get through this stuff, but this is gonna be just an absolute massacre. Yeah, it was not good whatsoever. Luckily, because I did know his score, and that is an advantage. I don't want to downplay it. I also think, though, there's many times that I've been on Gambit Roundtable or something like that, and I've talked about how going second is, I think, overemphasized. People say oh yeah, it's it's the worst thing ever. It is an advantage. I won't sit here and say that's not, but you can also turn it into an advantage of you going first. If you just go through, you get a really high score, put the pressure on your opponent. That can also be an advantage. So I do have the advantage though of knowing that Ram didn't get the highest score on my defense, so I have some wiggle room. So I thought to myself, this might fail, maybe. So maybe potentially, it will be okay if it does fail. The big thing here is I have a Relic 7 Star Killer. That's my highest relic. I guess, Relic 7 EP and a Relic 7 Old Ben due to territory battles, platoons. It just starts to get to a point where that amount of defense just is so much that I cannot cut through. And I am running the set 8, the long paragraph UFU, that one. And Cal does throw this off a little bit. You can get through it though. But yeah, I think the damage was just getting nerfed too much, plus Cal's unique of when, we put on some debuffs, right? They're gonna heal a little bit, and I don't know, man. This is gonna be an iffy counter, I think, going forward. And you can see he's just dodging, deflecting. It's already getting really, really bad, and I've probably messed this up along the way. I always hate starting the fight with a Star Killer versus Ray fight, because it, at least for me, like I'm usually just kind of kicking up the stream, kind of getting chats out of the way, like talking with people, all that good stuff. And it's just hard, I think, to kind of get that, like, you have to have a sense of urgency a little bit, and you have to be thinking, and there's certain things that you're going to want to do. And so yeah, this is just horrible though. Very bad. You never want to see this. Basically, I think we'll end up getting 0 kills here. Like I said, it's possible to kill this team. It's just harder, especially with my relics and with them having that much defense. It's just tough to get through this squad with Star Killer. So keep that in mind, guys, as we head into this new week. There are certain comps that are going to make it to where your relics feel inconsequential. Like they feel like you're just not doing enough damage because you're getting nerfed by quite a bit of theirs. So, I think we'll see here. We're going to kill no one. I was so sad. Like this ult is taking forever too. Like I can't get around it because L3. It's a very difficult comp, I think. Honestly, one of the more difficult Ray comps. So I ended up taking JMK versus that one anyways, because it was like, man, I don't have much. I don't want to like 3-shot any teams. So then I ended up bringing in my Traya versus their third sister, which is Relic 9. This is fine. Typically though, I remember this one. Typically I like to throw the Isolate on third sister, and then I like to annihilate Grand Inquisitor first. I was sitting here debating, and then I finally just go with it. It's usually you're fine. There's no real rhyme or reason, I guess, why you do that. But it just seems like you end up with better banners in the long run with it. And so, I guess. And the cool thing about Isolate on Riva, I think we've said this the last round, was when you put Isolate on her and you kill her just the first time, you stop all revives with Isolate. So it doesn't matter about the Held by Hatred. You're just going to, you're going to end up just ending the match there after the first kill. So yeah, unfortunately now we're seeing our Nihilist kind of go by the wayside here. I don't know exactly why I did that cooldown increase. I think I just didn't want to waste it, quote unquote, on Grand Inquisitor, but I didn't want anyone else to die, or to kill anyone, I guess. So I just just did some more cooldown increases. It didn't really make sense. I should have probably just did the Annihilate. I could have even targeted Fifth Brother and then just called it good, but I didn't. So I think we lose a few banners here though, because of some of the, I won't call them misplays, just I think it was unfortunate. I think my Traya got kind of turn meter reduced a few times. So yeah. So we've gotten pretty good at this fight. Not at this point, I guess this is only my second turn, but I did this the third fight, and again, as against call size relics, and I won that one too. So unfortunate that it started with a big hit from Malgus on Jedi Knight Revan. Last time we got it on Mace, and I think the time that I was up against Call Patrol, it was up against Cal. When I kind of thought about this and was thinking more about, well, cool, like I guess spoiler alert, we win this fight. I was thinking about, well, is it possible then to not use Jedi Knight Revan, because Jedi Knight Revan's really good. Maybe we can get by with something cheaper. I kept coming back to the fact of, okay, yes, we can obviously 4-man this right now. So maybe you could just put in some throwaway Jedi, like, I don't know, Ayla or something like that. But the problem then becomes, what happens if you get your big hit on Cal, and then he dies, or they maybe do like some big attacks and they kill him. Yeah, it's not worth it. I think you're gonna want some sort of mechanic where you can bring Jedi back, whether that's Jolie or that's Jedi Knight Revan. I think it's just too much of a risk right now. With how this is set up, I don't think you want to risk that. But I'm sure it can be done though. That's the thing, is I'm sure it can actually be done. I just think you run way more of a risk, and you could end up losing. Anyways, as you guys can see, we got to 30 really quick. Just then we kind of annihilated, I guess, I don't know, just insta-killed Malgus. And this is where definitely we saw that Marauder was the better choice here as far as trying to time out, because we just killed there. I'm also doing a better job this time about hitting the shatter points, which is a big deal. But yeah, all in all, I think this is, I'm starting to feel very, very confident in this. I was really afraid, if you guys listen to the Gambit roundtable and stuff like that, I was really afraid about this comp or this in 5v5 because of these R9 characters that we were going to be seeing due to Leviathan, right? I didn't want to time out on Malik or Revan or anything like that. But eventually it does seem like our damage is good. Now, the other side of this thing right now is that we are being propped up by a bolt cron. Is it possible that in the future that maybe Malgus is able to just one-shot Cal? Again, I think that's another reason why we potentially want to bring ourselves, some sort of savior mechanic or whatever the case is. So yeah, just something to think about. Obviously, their damage, or at least Malgus's damage, is being increased too. Their thickness, their tankiness is as well. So there's probably a little bit of both sides, like an argument on both sides. I still think this is going to be a counter after the Datacron's done, though. So I decided to take CLS versus this squad. I could have used CLS up against the Gas 501st, but then that would make me feel like I needed to use a GL down here on Trench because of the watts. So I didn't really want that to happen. I thought, let's open up Ram's back so that way we can see what he has. If he's got a GL, then great. Like, we can use one of our GLs. But if not, then we'll use our GL against Gas 501st. We could do worse on that, as far as like an exchange rate, quote unquote. And so, yeah, I decided CLS here. We'll just insta kill, or not insta kill, but like Han shoots first on Watt, so that way they don't get any tech out. And yeah, I made sure not to pay off any taxes here because I wanted to make sure Django takes a turn. Then we just didn't sit there with a repeated, turn meter removal on him, and he's just sitting there in damage immunity. Okay, so again, we talked about this last time. I won't go too much into the mechanics of this, but this time there is a Thrawn. I didn't like the Thrawn, like on the stream. I remember telling the stream, I'm a little bit nervous with Thrawn in here, just because his fracture could be so deadly. It could hit the wrong person. It could kind of, go into a wrong direction that I don't really want to go in. The good news is, I think so that's the other thing, Maul, I guess he knocked me down the first time. They're targeting 5s, don't want that as well. Ideally, like worst case scenario, just get the sacrifice. You'll end up being better for it. But yeah, this is great. I love him going to merciless, hitting people that really can't be damaged. I guess he can knock out the protection, but it's not too big of a deal. And you can see we're starting to chop away at old Royal Guard because of his the amount of offense they're just boosting us up right now. And so the next thing is I want to go after Thrawn, but then he gets his kick off, right? So would like for us to go ahead and solve that. I go ahead and do the form up just because we did have quite a few dots on us. I didn't really want that to continue being the case. Next is Maul. And I know that's not going to do much damage, but just it's probably very equal, probably even more than what the Rex basic is. Maybe not with including echoes, though, assisting. And now we're just left with the Lord Vader. And like you see right there, he had like something like 80 stacks of protection up. Each one of those gave us 2% offense that was stacking. So yeah. And there it goes. Right. We weren't able to time our form up so that way we could kind of get through this and get our gas to stand back up. But as you can see, we are hitting pretty hard now. And so we did get the 5 sacrifice. So it's going to be lesser banners. And maybe some of that was due to Thrawn being in here, right? As opposed to some of the stuff we'd seen before. But yeah, this is, I love this counter. And again, I think, guys, after this week, I don't think we'll see too many, at least in Kyber 1. Maybe, you know, people that don't watch videos or whatever, they'll still set it. But yeah. So because of Ram score, again, knowing that, I was able to just kind of say, hey, we're going to 2-shot Jabba. I did the Night Sisters trick, which is basically just kill all the sides. Hopefully this week I've upgraded Spirit, so maybe we can get lucky and kill a Jabba. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious. That's sort of my counter that I'm working on right now. And I put this one in here because this was just shocking to me. After I'd kind of cleared out all the GLs and all that good stuff, I was like, okay, we've got some pretty standard teams back here, like pretty easy. You know, it's a Huxley team. There's no Omicron on any of the characters, right? So there's no TIE Fighter pilot Omicron or anything like that. So normally I like to go for Hux first, just because he kind of stops the turn meter gain. And yeah, like he's just sort of one of those things where if he kind of gets going, or like if you kind of don't kill him, he can start to you know, swap turn meter. He can start to refresh cooldowns, mass assists, all these other things. And this is where I'm kind of checking, because I'm kind of worried right now, because I know I have to kill, you know, these guys, and he's under stealth, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I didn't check the datacron, and there it is. So I kill a few people, and now I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I've had this happen on the other side. I've had my Sith Trooper actually solo teams. This datacron is actually super good. One of the ones that I think people don't talk about enough. And yeah, he's just, I just am not believing this, and I'm going back and checking this all out. But yeah, I mean, with the, you know, almost 50% crit damage on top of just in stats alone. Yeah, I was like, man, he's going to kill me. This is a 1v1 with Wrecker, like the guy that does no damage. So I dropped that fight, like, and it was a mistake that I made that I probably shouldn't have. And so I just want to let you guys see that firsthand, so that way, hopefully you guys don't make the same mistake that I did. If I could go back, what I would do, instead of doing the double tap on Hux to kill him, I would do it on Red Trooper, which is the locked buff immunity, so he can't regain stealth, and that kind of cuts out a lot of that datacron. Okay. So then when I went back to ships, he actually set some kind of weird ones just to try and, like, I think he called it like he was going to try to bleed me banners. So basically there's like maybe there was an executor. I don't remember now. We'll see it. He basically tried to bleed me banners, right? So one of them was this one right here, which is basically just trying to take advantage of all these dodges. And you'll see, like, he's got 2 characters out there, which is Iden and TIE Fighter pilot, that can dodge and also gain turn meter, or at least make the cap ship gain turn meter. This is Thrawn, so as he gains turn meter, he's going to be able to insta-kill. So right now, kind of going through it, and obviously I didn't know, there's only 4 ships in this. I remember that this one, I was like, I wonder if this has the TIE Interceptor or if it's the other one. It wasn't this one. But as you can see, again, dodging, and every single time we do that, we're giving them 20% turn meter. I don't want to attack TIE Fighter Pilot right now because, again, he's got foresight, so I don't really want that to be the case. So I wanted to get the Iden out of there, so at least one of their turn meter mechanics is out. Go ahead and nuke the Vader ship. And again, if I can just wait until my turn to attack. And I was like, you know what? That's not going to do anything to TIE Fighter Pilot. Like, why would I try and hit with Kylo Ren shuttle when I know for a fact it's like, if it dodges, it's going to be bad for me. And even if it doesn't dodge, like, it's not going to do enough damage for me to even really care. So now I'm kind of stuck to hit him, and I think he dodges one more time because I'm pretty sure we get the annihilate here. So now I'm like, okay, let's go for the kill shot. Of course it dodges there. And of course, then I lose that. Of course, I have to hit him now where he has foresight, which then causes another ship to die. And then we get double dodged there. Isn't it fun? Okay, so this one did its job. I mean, it bled banners. I was trying to do this with First Order so that way it would save the ships for me that I thought I needed to go with. So I decided to bring in this as my counter to his own scythe. I wasn't sure whether or not this was going to work. Because honestly, you just don't see scythe enough on defense. I remember doing a scythe mirror match where it was like I just used the 3 starters and I won it. But I wasn't willing to put that to the test again. So I was like, okay, let's just bring it all. If we bring it all and we win, then like there's no problem. Like we have no issues because again, we used the First Order fleet earlier on that other fleet, so that way we would at least have another thing to two-shot. But I was like, the last thing I want to do is have like basically try to get like 2 weaker fleets out of this. So I kind of went all in on this one and hope for the best. And then yeah, this is obviously where we found out that this is the one that had the TIE interceptor as a reinforcement. I wanted to get rid of Sith Marauder because the dazes kind of suck. And luckily though, now that Scythe is gone, those foresights aren't causing us to like have to hit them. So now I'll be able to bring out my tank because I haven't had a tank here yet. I guess I've had pseudo tanks with the TIE fighters whenever they gain their foresight, but that's about it. And so then they bring out their TIE bomber. And maybe I bring out, I can't remember now. Maybe I do bring out the interceptor to get rid of the buffs. I can't remember, honestly. Yeah, okay. So I do bring out my interceptor to get rid of the buffs. And I guess to kill some additional people. So now they could bring out more reinforcements. Ideally, honestly, you just leave those TIE fighters forever. They just are the last people alive. And yeah, now I'm just hoping and praying that we get to our ult first. Because if we do that, then yeah, we can finish ult and kill them. But I think we actually finish this before it needs to get there. Yeah, so we get a 70. Like I said, we probably could have did this. And then my last fight is just a negotiator versus Grievous, so I didn't really show that. So all in all, right, mistakes were made on my part. Mistakes were obviously made on Ram's part, but in the end, we ended up winning by about a little over 20 banners. So luckily, one of them now, like one of the teams in the back of mine, he had to like 5-shot. And I think that's basically the difference. Of course, I made my own mistakes here, but ultimately, this was a really fun match. And I just want to thank Ram for the great sportsmanship. Sorry we couldn't make it work out, but hopefully in the future, if we do get rematched, We could do a live stream and go attack for attack. Those are usually the more fun ones. But this one was still a lot of fun. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned some fights or learned some interesting tidbits that we found out during the stream. And enjoy, guys. And like I said, we'll be streaming probably this entire week. So if you guys want to come check us out over there when we're live, much appreciated. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.